Many people make excuses in their life, and I'm included. It's just that when a lame excuse given by a game company dev got backfired so badly and being made a joke out of it, sometimes you just have to think about it and just laugh at it. Hello there, 好，这里 Ame Gakita there. So obviously today in the chat we are gonna go back again to game topic, but actually more so that when I was like looking at Pirate Nation tweet, I was thinking like, yeah, there is a lot of elemental of truth to it. So last time Concord's field, and it just as a simple refresher, anyone who are not aware of was hiding in some sort of cave along the line. Concord was a game that was released back in 2024 that only lasts for 2 weeks, and then it got cancelled with many people being refunded for the game. Now the thing is, right, the difference between Concord and the current hot game Marvel Rival is that Concord you have to pay $60-70 for it, while Marvel Rival is technically free. The only issue is that you have to pay was for the skin or the so-called the costume that the hero are wearing. Now the funny thing is that why a lot of people say that Concord feels so bad, it was because of the character design, the story, the lore doesn't make sense, everything, and people just doesn't like it. So the thing is, right, when a game is just basically telling people that if you don't like it, don't buy it, obviously a lot of gamers just say that, okay, we are not gonna buy it because we don't like it. Now the funny thing at the end of the day is just that when that actually happened, it also kind of like have the idea that sometimes you want a character to look good, to have like reliable backstory, something that people can like, and then people can think about the game. But the thing is, like, when you add like ridiculous stuff like representative or world or DEI or whatever BS to the story or the game design, obviously people will be turned off and people won't even consider it. So that's what happened to Concord, and in a way, the dev at the Sony company or whatever they want to call it, I forgot the company name already, they kind of like give the excuse like Concord's failed because the hero shooter genre is dead. And that was the excuse. I can't really like blame them for having that kind of mentality, because if you consider like back then, like a lot of people say like, oh, Marvel succeed because it attached to the Marvel brand because it was Marvel. Yep. As a kind of like understanding like the Marvel Avenger when it was first released, the character design doesn't even look great. You can just look at a lot of the older design and you'll be like, the above one is the Marvel, the below one is the Avenger, and the Avenger, from no matter how you look at it, is like, dude, they look so plain. But as the current new one looks so badass, looks so cool, even the Hulk look like someone who is actually like is really out there to have a fight instead of the below where he just eating burger and having fun. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of like the moment I talk about it, and it's really one of the things that when the game is good, the character is good, and people like it, obviously people will buy the game or play the game. If the game is free, people will play for sure. But then again, if there is like skin color that the character look good or whatever, obviously people will go and buy it. The people will go and spend money on it. You can't blame them. Just look at Genshin, look at Kuro game, look at Shift Out. A lot of characters look good. People love it. People will go for it. That's how people spend money. And in that formula, if a lot of Western companies still don't understand that formula, obviously you'll be looking at a formula that is failing, and that is apparently at this point is so damn obvious, the DEI. Now, the funny thing at the end of the day is really kind of like I mentioned this in my random chat, which I will talk about that in a while later. But the thing is, right, when you look at a lot of people looking at like Suicide Squad, like hero game or Marvel Avenger or even like anything else, it's like when you look at the design, obviously a lot of people will be, you can't blame them to have the so-called excuse that hero shooter game is dead. It is because based on the statistic that a lot of like older game that was what many people don't like was considered a flop. People know that, oh, there is DI and what's not. The only issue is that people don't look at the DI issue at all those games. People don't look at that. No. Even if the Suicide Squad, they have like character that is already questionable, but the story is questionable, they don't blame them. They just say, oh, it's a hero game. No one like it. It's a hero game. No one like it. It's a shooting, also hero game. No one like it. And when you kind of like have a 3-4 game that is failing and there is kind of like hero game, you can't really blame them for thinking that, hey, maybe the game are actually dying. When the actual answer was just there, is the DEI. And I can't really blame them for thinking that way, like seriously. I mean, like, look, statistic looking based on the number for them, alright. But then again, Marvel Rival do knock it out of the park because the number doesn't lie. People love the current new game because the characters look good, they look nice, they look sexy, they look handsome, they look like they are going to kill all the bad guy and defend the humanity along the line. Obviously, people are going to buy the game and play the game. And even if the game is free, even better, because you can't go and say that, oh, the game is free. There are people who legit spend money on the character because the skin, like, they have to buy, like, some of the skin costume costs like $10, $20. People willing to pay to get it because people love the design. If they like it, they love the gameplay, they will definitely know. Because the thing is, right, the game design is good, the character look good, the story to them is good. It's already the winning formula. Why people won't want it? And a lot of game companies still don't understand that. It's not about like, oh, you just get a brand and then you put a sloppy Joe over it and then just say that, oh, it's a game. No. It's always part of like, people always make noise about it. And the funny thing is, what even make it even like sweet on the cherry on top is basically those Concord players are mad at Marvel Rival. I guess that there are some people don't understand the issue that people will always make noise here, there, everywhere, and you can't really think about why they would think as such, because the thing is, right, people will always be mad, they will always come up with excuses, they will come up with ways to be mad, and I can't really blame them if they actually love Concord that heavily. If they love Concord, then good for them, but then it doesn't last 2 weeks, so jokes on them. The thing is, right, the way they come up with the excuse, like maybe like saying that the game is not catered to them or whatsoever, then again, the simple thing that you tell others, if you don't like the game, don't play the game. Why are you mad at the game? Like, if the game doesn't cater to you, don't cater to it. It's just that simple. If the minority game or the minority gamers don't like Marvel Rival, then don't play the game. It's just that simple. I don't play the game not because I don't like the game. Don't get me wrong, I'm just bad at that kind of game, so I don't play the game. I kind of refer this last time in one of my videos, so I'll put up to that link if you guys are interested. Like, competitive gaming is really not for me anymore. For an old man like me, right? I mean, sure, there may be many other old man, old lady who are very good at FPS game, but this old man no longer want to go into that step because I don't want to number one, be a toxic player, and number two, don't want to have a heart attack due to playing too much game. Now, that being out of the way, the thing is, right, it's really one of the moments, like, sometimes when you come up with the lamest excuse or come up with the lamest ideology and just put it into game and then tell people that, hey, the game should be this, the game should be that along the line. Yeah, you can just look at the game itself, and I mean, like, I have to thank Zero-san for just putting in the most simple way, because last time when I did a video about it, right, I kind of like forgot to mention in that video about saying like, do I trust game company even if they still have base game developer? I never really say that I must trust the game company just because they still have base developer. Just because they have base developer doesn't mean I trust them, alright? I would trust their work, not their word. If the game they release is still good, I will support them. But if the game came out is a flop, I won't. It's very, very simple. And I never really highlight that because I kind of like go in the roundabout way, so my bad. Now, in regards is that sometimes not going to give excuses is the best way to go, because just because like, oh, the hero shooter game is there, or maybe Concord say, like, why is the game one is success, one is flop? Dude, it's very simple. People love the game, they will play the game. If people don't like the game, they won't play the game. And Concord wasn't the game. It's really one of the moments that sometimes when people say that, oh, what made a game is because it's created by a game company. No. You can have 10, 100 or 1,000 of game company creating different games. But the question is that who are going to play the game? You can, at the end of the day, be a product up there and no one even consider it. It will be one of the oldest or quote unquote game and people don't even know about it. At the end of the day, it is still the gamers who make the game because they play the game. If no one playing the game, you can't think about it that it is a game. I mean, like, sometimes some game is really one of the moments where you just sit down and just wondering, like, what made the game? Is it because a game company created it? Or is it really just about the minority people playing the game? Or maybe one or two people playing the game and let's call it a day. Sometimes games at this era is kind of weird because the definition has always been changing. And it's really one of the moments that sometimes you have to like sit down and ask, like, what games or what is the gamers want? And at this point of time, this is really one of the things that when you look at it, right, you can't, the number doesn't lie. If you create a game with good looking character, with a good story, with a good gameplay, people are gonna play the game. If the price is reasonable, people will immediately rush into it. People is gonna go with it. If the game is free but there is microtransaction, people who can support the game, they will buy it. They will buy the skin. They will spend money on the game. Those who play for fun will help to spread the word to other people, and that bring more gamers. So at the end of the day, it's just that simple. You can't just go and outright say that, oh, game is no longer being owned by gamers or comfortable with not owning a game, or game $70 is reasonable or $100 is reasonable. No one wants to spend that much money on a game if they are not going to do so. Because if you don't understand one simple thing, is that there are still many other better games. Hell, I can even say older better game as well. Game from the 90s, game from the 2000s, and most of them are currently on discount. That I don't mind spending like a few bucks on them and play for hours. Hell, even if I want to play latest game, not let alone like Marvel Rival, I can play Genshin, I can play Zero Zone Zero. All these games are free. I can don't spend a single money, and I can still have hours of fun. And if one game is done, I can play another game. It's always playing different game. There's nothing wrong. It's just that, am I gonna have fun? If the game is not giving fun for me, why would I want to play the game? And the thing is, right, game companies shouldn't be giving the excuses like, hey, it's difficult to create a game character. It's difficult to do. Like, I know all this. I study game. I study on modeling, I study in programming, I study on game design. I know how hard it is. I'm sure that many people can understand that. But at the end of the day, what a lot of people need to understand is not about whether are they base game developer or is there gamer infighting along the line. At the end of the day, if there is a group of people just want to have a fun game, game companies should cater to them. If you want to cater to the so-called minority voiceless group that want to have DI in game, then by all means go ahead. If you catering to them, that's on you. If you're making losses, that's on you as well. You can't go and say that, oh, because gamers don't give out a chance to it. If people don't like it, people don't buy it. It's just that simple. You can't just say that people tell you to, if like I say this before again and again, if you feel like you don't like the game and they cater not to you and you said, oh, we're gonna boycott the game, and you boycott the game, it's the same thing. If people gonna boycott other game that you like, you can't blame them because you did the same to them. It's always in the cycle. It's really kind of like weird that people always give the like excuses about game design so good or bad or whatever. Hell, even like recently, what make it even more ridiculous is like how like Sweet Baby Inc. client are now having meltdown about gamers or modern audience issue along the line, or even like Google decided to do censorship. And I won't really blame Google for doing censorship in a way, because look at YouTube. YouTube belong to Google. How many times have they censored a lot of things within YouTube already? So if there is censorship, if there is censorship within YouTube, I don't think there is any issue with that. I mean, like, sure, it is a bad thing when it comes to censorship in games, but then again, it's Google. What can we say, right? So the thing is, right, at the end of the day, censorship, all these things, well, is considered bad. Game company giving lamer excuse is considered bad, but if people enjoy it, people will always try ways to go for the good one. It's just that at the end of the day, it's really weird that why is it the good one always tend to be the considered problematic when the bad one always don't look at themselves and look at the mistake. It's weird, but then again, that's the reality that we have to look at it. But anyway, at the end of the day, it is still technically a speculative thought on my end. It is just a random chat. Again, shout out to Shiro-san for making me realize that I almost forgot to say the word about do I still trust game company. Just as a simple highlight, I don't trust game company yet. Okay, just because they are base game company or doesn't mean that they are actually based, right? They can still make mistakes. They can still release game that is catering to DI and what's not that, or maybe game that is totally maybe like bad looking model or weird story. It can still happen. So normally I will give the game a try when I trust the source, and when I tried it and I can see it, I will like it. But if the game doesn't resonate with me, then obviously I won't play the game. It's just that simple. Again, that's just something I have to highlight because I didn't mention in that random chat, so that's my bad on my end. But anyway, whether you guys agree, disagree, do you guys think that game companies should really stop giving excuses, start working on their model? Because the thing is, right, the program to create a good looking model is already there. The story writing, there's many writers out there, and there is something called marketing research to understand what is the majority gamers want, what is their desire, what is the thing they want in a game. There's already that kind of thing. I just don't understand why a lot of game company don't do this kind of thing. But maybe they just too lazy, they want to save some money along the line. Who knows? Write in the comment section, we can discuss it further. If not, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or just me yapping randomly all the time. But the one thing I hope is one thing that I hope is not random for you guys is have a nice day or night.